Episode 222 of the TV Dudes podcast, recorded February 6th, 2019. Flashbacks. Didn't we call an episode Flashbacks before?
I don't know. Let's look back and see.
Oh, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to have.
I don't know. I
episodes called
swear
Flashbacks.
we have done this episode before. It just it feels like
Should there be a big pitch sound effect?
yeah.
4 years earlier, Randy, didn't we do an episode called Flashbacks?
I don't think we did.
Though the key to this is there has
8
to be
years earlier.
a song that plays every time we say that.
Yeah.
Like in the background, like I swear that song.
We really needed
Nielsen action.
We really need you both to step up and be Greg and Johnny in that clip there.
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
Get your impressions out.
All right, folks. Yes, we are the TV Dudes. I'm Grant.
I'm Randy.
Kyle.
Less.
Kyle, do not take a sip of beer.
I thought Wes was going to go first.
No.
I had time for my sip.
The
Why would
hilarious
I go
thing,
first when you're sipping a beer right that second?
They can't see what order we're in. It's audio.
the hilarious thing to me was Grant was queuing it up, and I'm watching both Les and Kyle take sips of their drinks.
Yeah, folks. So this week we're talking about flashbacks, and we got a full house. We got 4 of us on mic.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
Our house.
exciting. We're talking about I Am the Night and Russian Doll. I Am the Night I didn't watch. I don't even know what it's on or what it's about. Patty Jenkins, I
It
think?
is on TNT. Patty Jenkins directs a miniseries based on the true story of Fawn Liddell.
Yes.
Patty
Fauna.
Jenkins is great, but if it's on TNT, I'm thinking
You ever
it's
seen
not.
any FX true crime before? Just pour a little water in that. And that's what we got
That's
here.
exactly what it is, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, there's our review.
And Chris Pine stars. So.
We're going to talk about Russian Doll, the new Natasha Lyonne Groundhog's Day
Yeah.
drama, basically.
With
on,
murder.
Yeah, on Netflix. But I just wanted to say real quick, we changed our format, and if you guys aren't aware, we no longer do the news and listener questions up front. We drop it all to the back, and we just dive right into the shows. So we're going to do that, guys.
That's
you guys
right.
ready?
Spoiler warnings.
Yes.
Spoiler warnings for I Am the Night, episodes 1 and 2, all of Russian Doll.
Yes. Okay. I Am the Night. This is, yeah, go ahead. Take it away, guys.
All right, so who else? I watched the first 2 episodes.
First 2 episodes.
Full disclosure, I have all the screeners for Eye in the Night for another reason.
Oh, did you watch?
I was looking at that. I was like, is there 7 episodes out there somewhere?
Yeah. So I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen most of Eye in the Night.
Okay, so it is a 7-episode series?
6 or 7, I can't remember.
A limited miniseries.
Are
We know
you
that for sure.
not allowed to talk about the whole thing?
Spoiler, I can't until they air.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the first 2 episodes...
Wait, it's based off a true story, though. I'm
Indeed,
pretty
it
sure
is.
people have talked about it before.
You can go Wikipedia. It's the biography of Fawn is 10 years old now.
Is it about Batman?
It is not about Batman,
thought the same thing.
but it is an unfortunate title.
Just like Wayne. Wayne and I Am the Night. I mean, I know these are all Batman tie-ins.
So the first episode of this, it's set in 1960s. It's set in mostly in Los Angeles, and it's sort of 2 stories in the first episode. It's Chris Pine, sort of scumbaggy paparazzi, ex-Marine, ex-reporter kind of guy, and then there's this mixed-race girl who's passing, well, not passing for white because everyone knows that she's black, but nobody believes her. And she's sort of stuck between 2 worlds because the white people don't like her because she's black, and the black people don't like her because she's white, and she's kind of fucked. And then we find out about halfway through the episode that no, her mother is not her mother, and she was adopted. And then she goes looking for her real parents, and I'm like, I don't know how these 2 stories are going to intersect.
Yeah.
And in the second episode, they do, or they start to a little bit, and it's almost looking a little bit more like a L.A. noir kind of thing, where this like her grandfather's this creepy dude who might have been a murderer, whose potential murder is what seemed to have gotten Chris Pine's character off of his path and onto this place where he winds up shoved in a drawer at the morgue laughing to himself.
we all have that grandfather that does that.
That morgue scene was pretty awesome.
That was my favorite part.
The second he got locked in there, I'm like, what do you do in this situation?
Yeah,
Yell
he
for
just
help.
breaks.
That's all you
Yeah.
can do.
And he just starts laughing at the ridiculousness of it all.
Like, I'm fucked. Yeah.
A friend of mine was talking about what a weird choice that was, and I'm like, no, I loved it. I thought that was great.
It's Smoking Ace's Pine.
Oh, okay.
And, like that's the Chris Pine we got, I think, for this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is the like fingers in Ben Affleck's mouth going, "I'll forgive you," like that crazy dude. Like everybody forgets Captain Kirk is a nut job. In Smoking Aces.
He's really good here as this sort of. I have a fondness for the scumbag PI type characters, and this guy's sort of down on his luck that his whole life has fallen to shit, and he just doesn't know what to do about it. But at his core, he's a decent guy. That's a character for me. That's a character I like.
It's like, have you seen that character before? Now see him wearing capris.
The first couple episodes for me were a little frustrating because Chris Pine's not the center of the show.
Yeah,
and it feels like the show that they titled "I Am the Night." Like when you go and pick a title like that, They pitch so hard towards the Dahlia connection in the advertising, I felt like, or in the setup for it, and it's really about Fauna. It's about this girl discovering that oh my God, Daddy Warbucks maybe like my I'm not raised by these people, or I'm not from these people that are raising me. I got real parents out there somewhere, and she goes off to find them, and at first it kind of seems like she's got Hollywood royalty for parents.
Yeah.
And her dad is the top suspect even now
the Black
for
Dahlia
the Dahlia
murders.
murder.
Yeah.
And so the first two episodes kind of frustrated me in that I felt like they were still gearing the show around this eventual crime thing. But it's really like I kind of was like, okay, well, but stop that though, because you can't solve the Dahlia murder in this show.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, unless you go way speculative, you're just not solving that in this show.
Unless they go Inglourious Bastards with it.
Yeah, so instead focus the show on Fauna, and it's a little odd for me. I didn't know if that it was weird.
I had the same reaction as I watched for episode 1, and I was very taken with like I say, it's right up my alley. You do LA noir in the 1960s, that's right up my alley, and I love the look of the thing. Patty Jenkins, of course, is a very talented director, and
I also think that pilot is super strong.
That pilot's great.
I'm imagining that
directors every 2 though, I believe.
Okay.
The next couple episodes, I definitely see a trend with the second one, but that first episode, I was like, wow, this is really hooking you.
That's where I was too. And the second episode, I was kind of bored.
Yeah, we're probably on the same page with that.
I would seriously like everybody to watch if you've watched the first 2, watch the third.
I'm gonna keep
because there's a shift in directors every 2, and I'm interested to know how that came across for everybody.
I'm definitely interested in keeping up with it because the first episode was so strong, but the second one was a big downer. I was like, it was kind of like how I felt about True Detective, which I know a lot of people are loving season 3 of, where I was just like, this is good. It's definitely good. It's just not catching me.
It is awesome looking LA Confidential Hollywood noir type stuff, though. I mean, they're not in Hollywood. But.
You know what's interesting? It is awesome looking, but something I noticed is it sounds kind of shitty.
Really?
If you listen to the just like the film music, like the ambiance and stuff, it sounds like canned TNT, filmed ambiance and like those kind of sounds.
Yeah, I guess the little ways that network reveals itself.
And it's interesting because you do make comparisons to FX, who they just did that the Getty show. What was it? Trust. And something like that, where it just seems like there was more of a artistic hand involved with something like this, where they're definitely trying to tell a story and they've got some cool stuff, but for the most part, it's still a TNT show.
Yeah, I think that the TNT of it all was not as bad as I feared. It doesn't feel like this is definitely the best thing TNT's ever aired.
Well, and you see Chris Pine in it, and you don't think it's a TNT show. Normally they don't have star power that.
And he is having a ball.
Oh yeah, he's great in it.
Dale Dickey shows up as well, and she is friggin' amazing. I love that actress and everything.
Something I thought was really effective is it's either right before or during. Yeah, I think it's right before the end title cards, the credits roll. They show some pictures of the real life people, and just kind of all of that, those Making a Murderer style documentaries we got, seeing those images, really effective and really creepy.
Yeah, I agree. I'll definitely keep watching this. I want to see the rest of it.
Has anybody Wikipedia'd Fauna?
No, I don't want to know.
Oh, I did today. In fact, if you go to the TNT website, they actually have a pretty cool little section you can learn more about
her biography. The actual title is so much better than I Am the Night.
What's the title?
Someday She'll Darken.
That's a way better title.
Oh my God, that's an awesome title.
And it's brutal. Considering that the real thrust of her story is about the fact that not only did she catch hell for clearly being the palest mixed race kid anybody's ever believed was mixed race, and her mom or adoptive mom caught hell for adopting a white kid,
girl. Yeah.
basically.
I felt like that was the
And, like,
captivating
their
part of
two
the story.
stories and their problems with each other sound way more interesting to me than trying to shoehorn in a Black Dahlia murder, which is what the first 2 episodes come across for
Yeah.
me.
Although Someday She'll Darken is probably not a Batman title.
No.
We'll see.
Ruby Rose. No.
Graham Morrison's. Someday she'll darken.
So yeah, a general thumbs up though. I mean, across. I mean, Les has an unfair advantage. He's seen a little more than we have.
Yep.
But
No, I think definitely I'm going into episode 3. I wouldn't be surprised. The way I'm feeling it now, I may not make it till the end.
yeah, I want to see if episode 3 can win me back.
Well, let's jump over and talk about Russian Doll. I mean, we kind of heard little rumblings about this show coming like in the past couple weeks.
I saw the movie last year. Happy Death Day?
The sequel coming out this next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, all of a sudden this show's out. And I was quite surprised, but it made perfect sense that this comes out right around Groundhog's Day. It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I happened to be in for the night on Friday night when this came out, and so I was like, "Oh, go ahead and check out an episode." And then I binged the entire thing. So I just sat on my couch for 4 hours straight watching all of
I
this.
watched it over 2 nights. Like
Yeah.
they were being like 27 minutes or so
Yeah,
per
it's
episode.
perfect.
Netflix shows that do that really clip through a binge. Like you never feel that.
Oh, they
1
know
hour
what they're
scene.
doing.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels like, oh, I can check that one off of my list.
Yeah, I did the same. I binged this in one day. Yeah.
Leone is she's friggin' awesome.
This is her vehicle, and that's all about her.
Ever since she absolutely outclassed American Pie across the board, and then
Down and Out in Beverly
Down and Out in
Hills.
Beverly Hills was great.
Orange
Then
is
she
the
was
New
gone
Black.
for a little
Black.
bit, or was that Slums of Beverly Hills?
Slums of Beverly
Yeah.
Hills.
Then she was gone for a minute, and now Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And all, like, I was thrilled
She
to
might
see
have been
this
in
coming
like
out.
rehab for a little
I
bit.
want to say she had a medical issue, like a legit.
Like she actually had a
illness.
big drug problem, and
That
so,
wasn't just
like,
a character she was playing?
No, the fact that like she talks about that, I think is because
okay.
she went the Robert Downey route for a while.
The font,
Interesting.
the title cards, everything about this show, the song choices. I dug all of the design of this. It looks so cool to me.
So was I the only one who's a little underwhelmed? Like I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yes.
You would be the only one.
No, I'm sorry. I also didn't like the end. I mean, the ending was okay.
I felt
but
like the ending. I felt like the ending could have used a little more punch, and I was like, I feel like they could have gotten to the premise faster. Like,
Yes.
like the whole Groundhog Day of it. We all got it. We knew what they were doing, and they spent the whole first episode.
they don't even start trying to look into what's really going on. It doesn't feel like until like episode 7.
Yeah, I would have liked it moving a little faster.
I don't think I needed that. I think that it's all about how someone would go through this experience, and it's the lens of her. And we are all familiar with Groundhog Day with Bill Murray being a much more comedic take on this, and this is a lot more grounded. And she's funny herself, but it's a serious and kind of harrowing experience, especially as things develop and like friends start disappearing and
So
all that.
you read this as more serious. I still took this as sort of dark comedy.
I mean, dark comedy, but I thought at times it could be kind of bleak.
Yeah.
When there was a moment where I realized that they were never going to show me what happened to them, like what caused this,
Yeah.
and that it was going to be about finding a love connection between you and society and other people and bonding and stuff.
Right.
But I really wanted some explanation of the dead plants or the math on the timeline age, like the aging fruits.
I'm in the same boat.
And
I
I
wanted the
realized
explanations.
Groundhog's Day with Murray never gave me any of that either.
No.
And I've never once questioned it. There was
do we
something about it
hold-
that bothered me on this one.
Do we hold it to a higher standard because it's TV?
It's a TV series.
Yeah, and
No, I think we hold it to a higher standard because this isn't an original concept.
It's a
And
trope.
they're-
We've seen it.
To
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
jump in and throw their hat into the mix, they have to bring something new. Which I actually think by breaking kind of the conforms of it doesn't start when she wakes up, and it's not confined to a single day. It does kind of give some more places that the story can go. All you guys are totally caught up. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so I'm still kind of
Well, it
like,
starts
hooked
consistently
and-
breaking. Well, not breaking the rules, but like kind of changing what you kind of expect is going to happen.
Yeah.
Man, the rapid fire deaths on the stairs.
When she's just, and then her just being completely freaked out about the stairs for the rest of the series.
That was fun.
That's great. And her one friend that's just always down for whatever crazy shit comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Like, we're going out the fire escape. Awesome!
It kind of reminded me of Zelda a little bit because she would like find out a new piece of information and need to like get back to the party. So it's like, oh, what's the quickest way? Just accidentally kill myself right now. Oh, boom, I'm back.
But there were a couple times where I really thought she was going to do that. Where like, and actually, you haven't. There's another character in the show that you've not met yet.
I love spoilers, so
So
hit me.
We're going to talk about spoilers anyway.
So Alan, when they first meet Alan, and he is so on routine, there was a moment where he misses the fly.
Yeah.
And I really thought he was just going to kill himself and reset it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you fucked your run up. Like, you're just going to kill yourself in Mario Brothers and restart.
Yeah, Alan comes across as like a super neurotic, fastidious guy who's like the exact opposite of this, like, don't give a fuck about anything character that Natasha Lyonne's playing.
He's a little tightly wound.
Yeah, very tightly wound.
And you can tell they're obviously trying to set up this dynamic between these opposites in a way attracting. I was really impressed that it kind of skirts the line and makes it much more of a platonic relationship, even though there's a sexual encounter between them.
Yeah.
But that's just because Natasha Lyonne's character is like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think he even explains it later as like, no, I mean, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
He was really drunk and they're just whatever.
So did you guys feel like, I felt like while there were other good, like Charlie Barnett is good as Alan. I feel like this is really like Natasha Lyonne and everybody else in the B position. Like nobody was matching her energy.
I don't know. I think that it's kind of a tough gig when everyone else has to just kind of hit reset and be the same character at the same initial low energy mode for a little bit before they can kind of ramp up because of their introduction. And she can like continue to learn and become more neurotic while everyone else has to maintain that tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, to set her performance off, everybody else has to kind of play flatter, if it seems, or become more of an NPC.
Right. Yeah.
Like Chris Elliott and Andy McDowell have to be a little bit bland at the beginning when we first see him in Groundhog Day. It's the same thing. But I thought like her best friend, who's freaking out about the chicken and just loves doing drugs with her. Like I thought that the more we got to kind of peel back the layers of that relationship, and like she throws water in her face, and they both laugh.
That was a great friend
that was
reaction.
A great
I felt like they both just said, "The fuck are you doing? I don't fucking know. I'll get you another shirt and then you can leave." I loved it. I was like, that's some friendship.
I mean, do you guys think this is going to be just one season?
No, it's 3 seasons.
Oh, okay. So like any of those complaints about like what is going on with a larger issue of like why this is happening
could absolutely be the biggest complaint I have is not so much the why is that I feel like the pacing was off, and I think we talked about this a little bit off mic, is that because we've seen this done, we saw Groundhog's Day. Discovery did an amazing time loop episode. It was in 1 hour, and they did everything I wanted to see. I feel like they were a little self-indulgent with their time. Like they spend the first 2 episodes, and she's just looking around to figure out what happened with she's sure she's on drugs.
Just sure she has never done ketamine before.
She's not even the time loop. Yeah. And by the time we're starting to get to the like time loop element of it, we're halfway through. We don't even meet Alan until
that didn't feel organic to you?
No, I felt like it was taking too long.
You know, this could have been a badass show if all it was her trying to find the drug she was on, and then at the end she found out, oh, I'm actually been on this crazy drug the whole time, and then she gets out of the time loop by doing more of that.
I love
drug.
that her best friend just eventually shuts down the whole drug thing with like, you've done ketamine before.
Did ketamine with me.
We did ketamine? Yeah. Oh, then this can't
yeah,
be
that's
that.
right. That one time.
Then we just then this can't be that. But I felt like I'm with Randy. I loved the realism of her not knowing what's going on and not even like totally brushing the first time off. Yeah. Like, oh, this is just deja vu. But when I stopped loving it, it stopped immedately. Like there was a moment where I was like, no, but okay, you know what's happening now. And so now I need you to start trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
And she kind of felt like she was just fucking around in it for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, and that fits with the protagonist. That fits with the character. And that's why I'm glad they introduced Alan. I wish Alan had been in a little earlier.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of this is when they're in the elevator and Alan turns to her and goes, "Oh, don't worry, I die all the time." And that was a great
amazing
moment.
Like that's a great moment.
Yeah. But it didn't come till way too late in the run for me, and I would have liked it earlier.
That was episode 4. right?
Is it? It's 4 or 5. It's like the end of 4. That's halfway through the run. That's a long time. That's the end of a movie.
That's like 2 hours in. I feel like we watch so many other shows that. How long is I Am the Night, and you guys are still like underwhelmed, and it's 2 hours
in.
Yeah.
2 hours in, and you're underwhelmed.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're going to give that another. I don't know.
But there are characters in I Am the Night that seem like they are trying to solve something.
Oh, no, I should be clear. I am 100% going to watch season 2 of Russian Doll, and I really liked this, but I have seen a lot of people talking about like best of the year material. Like they loved this, and I didn't love it that
didn't
much.
stick the landing for me on
Yeah.
it. I mean, and I know it's not landed. It's got 2 more seasons apparently, so I'm really hoping that like her and Alan together now are going to try to figure this out. But like Kyle caught real quick just a second ago that Alan is
in the first episode.
in the first episode because he's the guy throwing up, and then I assume on the timeline from there he goes back to his apartment drunk, goes to the roof, and jumps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She sees that leaving the party though, right?
I think so.
She sees
yeah.
him drunk leaving the party.
Yeah.
Her reset's earlier than his,
Yeah. It does seem like it.
which is weird to me.
Wait, she sees him drunk.
After she's left the party,
Yeah, that's when she sees because she
Yeah.
goes into
She goes-
the shop with
doesn't
the guy
she go to the
picked up at
bodega?
party.
'Cause
So
we've
she
never seen
resets
her-
before
we've
she
She
never
commits
leaves
seen
the
her-
suicide.
party. She goes to
the
the bodega.
bodega.
and that's where she sees him puking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she goes down across the street. She goes has sex, and then she goes and gets hit by a car.
She gets hit by a cab. She
and
grabs
he
her-
has to go
okay.
to the restaurant, and then he goes.
It's the same
up to
time.
roof
It's the,
and jumps
okay,
off.
and so he jumps back to earlier.
Yeah, it's the same time. He's right.
But how is he rapid fire dying with all the stairs incidents? That's what I'm curious about.
that I don't know.
God only knows.
Well,
and
toward the end, they just start dying.
yeah, well, and there's changes to the rules with. It got a little frustrating that like there were clearly mechanics at play.
Yeah.
And I liked that the characters didn't immediately jump on like, ooh, what's this fun puzzle box that's happening to me?
Yeah.
But I needed them to seem interested in it, and I still don't think she is. It was kind of rad and a little frustrating that they instead threw him a curveball with the parallel.
That's for fucking timeline nerds like Les.
And me.
Someone you like just needs to pull out a dry erase board for you guys and be like, all right, we're gonna map out each
Yes,
death.
you made a
just for
time
you
travel
guys.
show.
You guys,
Biff went back to this point and
if
stole
you're
the
the nerd to
DeLorean.
enjoy the show, you can map it out yourself. I'm sure someone's already doing that.
That's the thing. It's not mapped out. It's like it love solves it. Like
Yeah.
I don't think there's a I don't believe there's a map yet, and that's what's
I
frustrating.
also
to me.
need a moment. I need a moment in anything that's going to be a somewhat comedic timeline show. I need a moment where the protagonist decides to have fun with it and just like find the interesting ways to kill themselves. Like,
Wait,
that
have you
always
seen
happens.
the
That
movie
was
Happy
just-
Death Day?
It's
No, but I
fucking
know it's in
awesome. I
there.
loved it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was the stairs
No, she does
scene,
a
though.
great job with
Yeah.
that.
She's just she just keeps trying to make runs at the stairs.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the stairs scene. I mean,
I
she
guess
wasn't.
that's
She
true. Yeah.
didn't want to kill herself, but
Yeah.
there is the scene of like the repeat death.
No, I like the thing that Les talked about, like when he missed the fly and he just kills himself. Like I love the
really
idea
thought
of things
Alan
like
was
that.
going to do
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I'm just saying this is the best show of the year, and I don't understand you guys complaining.
Real quick, what's the Russian doll? What's the metaphor with the title, or like how does it tie into the concept?
That I'm not so sure. I mean, she's Russian.
person
Okay.
inside a person.
Person inside a
I don't
person.
know.
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, oh, that's that title. It's got to have some.
I think
bigger
it's the
meaning.
idea that like as she keeps dying, she's peeling back layers of her life, and you start seeing her as a young kid, and she has to kind of reconcile with some
Oh, that's
damage
right. She
of her
starts
past.
hallucinating herself as a kid, and it
stuff
starts
with her
to,
mom is
and it
fucked
starts
up.
to signal her dying.
Yeah, with what's her name? What's
That also
actress?
fits with the guy who keeps wanting to cut her hair, Horse.
Chloe Savini
Yes.
plays her mom.
Yeah,
Chloe's
and
name.
she's great.
Chloe Salvini
Is her
Yeah,
mom.
from Big Love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa,
Kids.
So the creators of this were Natasha Lyonne, Amy Poehler, and Leslie Headland.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
You don't?
No.
Terriers, bro.
What? Oh.
Terriers.
Never mind.
She's
That's-
one of the writers on
Best show.
Terriers.
Give me your nerd cred.
I would just like to point out to Leslie, who I'm sure is listening to this episode, that Randy actually did an entire podcast based on terriers, and he didn't recognize.
Never mind.
this.
Best show of the year.
Yeah, wow.
I'm taking that nerd cred.
All right, let's take a quick break, and Randy can go flog himself. right, guys. So it's about listener question time, but there's a couple little news stories we wanted to bring up real quick because one of these is really related to our flashback theme this week. ABC presidents said they are the ABC president, who's Carrie Burke, said interested in a Lost reboot, which roll your eyes at that because I think they always say, sure, I'm interested. There's no stakes in saying you're interested.
Am I interested in a reboot of one of our most successful shows? Yes, I am.
Why not?
You know, interested in a new Johnny Carson Tonight Show.
The reason they need to reboot it is because everybody's trying to rip it off, and that still hasn't sunk.
Yeah.
Well, no one's able to do it successfully.
And the headline writes itself.
I mean,
Can Lost be the new Lost?
So, Grant, as Lost fan number one, how do you feel about the notion of a rebooted Lost?
I mean, it all depends on who are the creators behind it.
Presuming it's good. Presuming that they get good people.
Reboot versus revisiting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I want it to just reboot. Don't tell the exact same story.
Right. That's kind of where I am at too. But what is there to revisit?
They could return to the island. There's now a new watcher. There's still more mysteries to unravel about this crazy island.
What happened
that
after
exists.
the church scene at the end?
Yeah, I mean,
They all go to heaven. It's the good place.
those people are in the good place or wherever.
It's the good place with the Lost cast. That I watch.
I saw that ATX festival tweeted a question. They were like, hey, if you guys could take one character from one of your favorite characters from a TV show and put in another show, who would you pick? And I was like, I would put Janet from The Good Place into Lost Island, and she would just answer shit for
That'd be
us.
amazing.
Just rapid fire answering.
Also, that show would be 1 season long because Jenna would answer all the questions.
God, it'd be amazing, though.
What are the numbers? It's just a random system for numbering that they assign to people.
Hey, Janet, what's this wheel for? Oh, that's for polar bears.
Yeah. It'll make sense. You'll see. I feel like it might actually just be more confusing. Does
that help? No, it makes it so much worse.
Oh, man. Janet giving answers no context would be amazing.
Running around the island just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, actually.
What's a Dharma initiative? Well, it's...
Oh, man.
It's Tuesdays and also sometimes Saturdays.
Yeah.
Does that help?
And
Jeremy
Sawyer,
Bearimy, y'all.
Oh, man. Sawyer and oh, man, what?
Janet?
No, Sawyer and the lead character from Good Place, whose name I'm blanking on.
Eleanor Shropshire.
Eleanor, thank you. Sawyer and Eleanor would definitely hook up and probably con everyone on the island.
Yeah, they'd bone.
Is it weird that I'm just imagining everyone from Game of Thrones in Lost now? Like, they don't even have to have swords.
The next little story is that Why the Last Man, the comic book series, has officially been ordered over at FX.
Yeah.
That's just kind of exciting.
It is exciting, and it's got a good cast.
Who do we got?
I remember specifically that their Agent 355 was really good. But so yeah, Diane Lane is playing York's mom.
Oh, cool. Right.
Barry Keoghan from Dunkirk is, I think, playing York.
Oh yeah. Imogen Poots is going to be in there.
Imogen Poots is in there.
Lashana Lynch. Juliana Canfield.
Yeah.
Amber Tamblyn. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good cast. I'm curious to see, because Why the Last Man came out in like late 90s, early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
No, 2002. And since then, kind of a lot has happened in feminist theory. So they're going to have to make some pretty significant changes, one of which is like, I don't know if you do this story with a dude being the lead.
What?
Like I feel like the male point of view on Why the Last Man, like, you kind of need to beef up 355 and Dr. Mann's parts a little bit so that this isn't all what happens to the last guy when all the women are all but it feels a little weird if it's all about the last guy on Earth.
From what I recall reading that, I think it was really driven by the women. I mean, he's just kind of this hapless,
he's a
failed
hapless
magician who's kind of being pulled around by 355 and becomes a love story of 355 and what's her name?
Yeah,
anyway.
that's true. He is. I wonder.
Hero?
Hero was his sister.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do all the
Amazonian.
I don't know. I'll be curious because I think there's been enough changes where it's going to be slightly different. And
it'll have to be.
Yeah. And I hope we don't get a preacher thing where it's like, oh, this is different in bad ways.
Yeah. Anyway,
But it's got a good cast, good people running it, and it's on FX. So
definitely excited to check it out.
It looks like American Gods is just making showrunners for other shows a mile a minute. So
Sure.
I think it's got an ex-American Gods showrunner.
Listener question time. If you guys like us on Facebook, go to facebook.com/TV Dudes. You can ask us questions once every couple of weeks whenever Randy puts up a post. Just make sure you get notifications. Just go to our page and say, I want all the notifications, because we don't post that often, but you want to be in on it. You want to be in there.
that's right. If you put the first question in, we'll ask it. And same as with the last one you put in. Really,
We might. I'll probably ask the most recent one first.
So if you're the last guy on there, you'll probably get your question. You know what? There's no benefit. Just do what Grant told you.
Dennis McElwain's got our first question / the most recent one asked. He says, how happy are you that Rob Liefeld's deal with Netflix has led to nothing? Randy, are you doing the happy dance? Happy dance, Randy, perhaps? Huh?
I'm actually not.
I had no idea that Rob Liefeld had. He has a deal with Netflix?
Yeah.
I missed this entire or blanked it clean out.
So here's the thing.
It's a tiny feet deal, I think.
Rob Liefeld has
Pockets on every show.
for all that Rob Liefeld is a not a great designer. His stuff, like Alan Moore came in and did some really interesting stuff with Youngblood. Like, you could take the shitty things that Rob Liefeld created and make an interesting superhero universe out of it.
He's the Michael Bay of comics for me.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to bash on him, but at the same time, he gets spectacle. Bay gets explosions, gets spectacle, gets big stuff. When you want that done, he's the man.
Yeah.
Liefeld gets big, giant, shiny superhero team dynamic shit.
Yeah.
I just hate the pointy feet and all the pouches.
Yeah, Youngblood #1 is the first one from the 90s, is objectively terrible, but it does have a scene where a guy kills an assassin with a pen. And it's got all this stuff. It's got their psychic like blowing up Saddam Hussein's head. Like, there's all kinds of weird, crazy shit that we praise Mark Miller for doing.
Yeah.
And it's just that Liefeld's talent isn't there. If you took that same kind of thing and did these sort of celebrities as superheroes and extreme superheroes and did it with a tongue-in-cheek approach and did it on Netflix, I think it could be good.
He always felt like the giant. He always felt like the fanboy that made good, even when I was a kid, as an art, like with watching him as an artist.
Yeah, for sure.
He helped make Deadpool,
He's Deadpool,
right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
made
Deadpool
Deadpool.
was his co-creation.
Or
Fabian Nicias was the writer.
He Deathstroke and made Deadpool.
This is why Dennis McElwain's trolling you here, because you hate Deadpool.
I do hate Deadpool.
Except for you're wrong, because the movie version's good.
I hate Deadpool. I like Ryan Reynolds, so I kind of like the movies.
Jonathan Huffnagel says, Dear TV Dudes, I scream, you scream. We all scream for...
Ice cream.
Rupert Grint's ice cream trip. No.
I can't get the Hunting of Hill House off of my brain from last October. Yeah. This got me thinking about so many other good, tense, or horrifically scary moments from past TV. While supernatural threats and ill fates can be memorable, there is nothing like watching a character walk into what you fear will be their doom. I will never forget how tense I was watching the last few living moments of investigator Beverly Katz on Hannibal. Over the years, what have been your favorite terrifying moments in TV?
I hate these kind of questions because I can never think back so far at all my terrifying moments.
I always remember the episode Home from X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Where the crazy mutant hillbillies are like about to murder that woman, and they're like lifting up the bed and just clonk, clonk, clonk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So fucking scary.
Was it Toombs? Is that the guy's name in
Toombs,
X-Files? It's
yeah.
been so long, but that straight creeped me out. Like, that was one of the few television episodes that just genuinely creeped me out. The It miniseries with Tim Curry, for as goofy as the spider at the end was, Tim Curry in every other moment of that show was terrifying.
Yeah.
The seed of my childhood nightmares. This is not going to be a popular answer, but the Orville actually recently had a home invasion episode.
That was creepy.
Oh my gosh, when he asked him to stick his hand in the sauce,
yeah.
I was like, are we watching Funny Games?
Yeah,
like, this took a turn.
That episode was a lot darker. There's been a few moments of that, like, where there's an episode later in the season where the captain is threatened, like, we're going to kill your girlfriend unless you give us the codes.
Yeah, that was
like,
a little dark, too.
Man, there's a little darkness going on in the Orville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Millennium was another show I could never watch.
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle that one. I was like, every time I would see stuff, I'm like,
Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah, Lance Hendrickson. You just talking. It's like Unsolved Mysteries. That show too. Like, I can't do this. All right, that's it for this week's questions. We're gonna take a week off.
We'll take a week off.
Wink, wink.
Set these mics down for a week.
But we do want to advertise that our next week's episode is going to be a super special one, and Kyle and not Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Read into that as you will. both are going to be super excited that we're going to be talking about the Grand Tour TV show.
Finally.
We're going to be doing some British shows.
British TV, love.
Yeah, British TV. We're going to do it in our accents,
You make
especially
an absolutely
Cockney.
fabulous
It's
episode.
going to be like, we're all going to speak British the whole time. Come on, guys. Give us your shitty British accents. Put them on.
All right, governor.
Jaguar. Petrol.
We want to say thank you to all of our listeners. If you guys are on Patreon, patreon.com/TV Dudes, and you've made a per episode pledge, please hit me up with your address and I'll send you some of the new stickers we just got. Patreon.com/TV Dudes. You can make a per episode pledge. Give us $1 or $2, and we really appreciate all of your support. We are proud members of the Electric Sweater Network.
Electric sweater.
And you guys can go there and check out a bunch of other great TV-centric podcasts. We will be back next week, but until then,
TV Dudes out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TV Dudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.